Hello everyone! Today's doll is made in a massive collaboration with some of my friends and fellow doll artists over on Instagram. We each chose our own favorite character from Strawberry Shortcake and kind of modernized them and made them in our own style. I chose Tea Blossom for today's doll, and I will be making her in a more modern Chinese dress. So a few months back, I actually made my own version of Strawberry Shortcake, putting her in the strawberry dress. And I'm very happy with how she turned out, so I'm glad that I'm going to be able to put another Strawberry Shortcake character beside her. Today I will be using a Ever After High Raven Queen doll as a base, and let's start off by chopping off her hair. Now that the hair is cut, we can remove the head and get all the stubbles out. This doll's face was much dirtier than usual, but what can you expect from a thrift store find, right? I did make sure to wash the doll's face thoroughly after removing all the face paint. Now to paint the scalp a dark purple to match her hair color. I didn't plan to give this doll a widow's peak, so I will not be painting that area. Now that the paint is dry, we can move on to rerooting the doll. I already have some dark purple yarn brushed out, so now I just need to flat iron it. I find this part really satisfying. Usually this method is used to make glue-on wefts for a wig or straight to the scalp, but I am using this method to still reroot the doll. I divide each weft into smaller sections so that way it will fit onto my reroot needle and plug into the head easier. Now that the reroot is done, I section off her hair into two buns to be styled later. Moving on to her face up, I'm trying to give her my usual art style for how I do my faces normally. This time around, I wanted to show more real-time footage of me doing the face instead of a full time lapse. If this is something you prefer to see, let me know in the comments and I will include more real-time footage in the future. It was at this point that I realized I didn't fully coat the face in enough MSC. I realized that one eye was taking more pigment than the other one was, so I had to go back and add some more layers after blushing. Here I'm using my green watercolor pencil to add a little bit of under eyeliner. Halfway through this face up, I wasn't sure if I was really satisfied with how it was looking, so I decided to take a step back and reflect on it while I worked on her outfit. For Tea Blossom's dress, I'm using the Key Lolly pattern by DG Requiem. I kind of wanted to go all out when it came to decorating this dress. I really wanted to add some green ribbons like on every side of this dress. To secure all the lace and ribbon, I'm using Fabri-Tac. After decorating the dress, I added a snap closure to the skirt and the dress. Going back to my original concept drawing, I wanted to give this doll a green belt with a pink flower attached. I also found this pack of purple tassels that I thought matched the purple satin fabric I used perfectly, and I wanted to wrap it around the belt to add a little extra flair. I decided to take another tassel and use the ribbon on it to make a panko button for the top of the cheongsam. I'm so sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of those words. I also decided to add some green ribbon cuff bracelets. For her stockings, I couldn't decide which lace I wanted to use around the top of them. I thought the big green lace was way too much, so I ended up using the tiniest green ribbon. Now her outfit is finished, minus her shoes, and I am very, very happy with how it looks. Words cannot express how pleased I am that I was able to make this. Before I get back to finishing her face up, I'm going to paint her nails a dark purple. Now that I spent all this time reflecting and thinking about how I wanted to go about painting this face, I can finally execute it and execute it well. Painting the whites of the eyes is one of the most difficult parts of a face-up for me because I almost never know how it's going to turn out, if I'm going to mess it up or if it's going to be smooth and beautiful. But I believe that if you're doing something and you think it's too easy, then you aren't challenging yourself enough. To deepen up the shadows in the whites of her eyes, I'm taking a little bit of gray gouache. After adding a little bit of gloss to her eyes and lips, her face is done. For her hairstyle, I start off by cutting her bangs, and this part I am very excited about because I bought some materials that will bring this doll one step closer to being a strawberry shortcake doll. But we'll get into that later. For the rest of her hairstyle, I brushed out both parts and put them into 2 pigtails, and then I sectioned the pigtails into 3 and braided them. After the braid was done, I wrapped it around itself and created a little braided bun. You don't really need to secure these buns because the yarn really likes to hold its shape. I also wanted to give her some hair accessories using these earrings and head pins that I bought at the craft store. With a little bit of force, you can easily separate the charm from the earrings. Once I repaint the flower pink and then cut down the head pin to size, I will be able to stick it right through the bun. After I paint the front and back of the flower charms, I seal them with a little bit of gloss varnish to make sure the paint does not chip. It's a little tricky to get the pin inside the hair without messing up the hairstyle. I will be making Tea Blossom shoes from scratch using epoxy sculpt and an array of sculpting tools. I start off by mixing equal parts A and B of epoxy. After it's well mixed, I roll it into a ball and then cut the ball in half so each shoe has the same amount of epoxy. Then I begin forming the general shape of the shoe onto my mannequin doll. This is a great method to use when making basic open-toed high heel shoes. Now that the shoes are sculpted and symmetrical, it's time to leave them overnight to dry. I paint the bottoms of the shoes while they're still attached to the mannequin base, as it'll be easier when I need to paint the inside of the shoes later. I made a high heel for the shoes out of a toothpick and then secured it with super glue. I'm really trying to get better at making my own doll shoes because they are so hard to find and they are not cheap online. Now to paint over the heel, and then once the shoes are fully painted, I can easily pop them off. Alright. At least I redeemed myself a little bit. So, after I fixed the heel, I painted the inside of the shoes. To make the shoes secure and removable, I superglued a ribbon strap to the base. After that, I added some gloss varnish to the entire shoe to seal the paint. Of course, I had to add some diamond dots to act as buttons and some for earrings. And with all that, she's done. I almost forgot to mention the crowning detail that makes this doll really special, and that is that her hair is scented like a real strawberry shortcake doll. If you want to see the video process of me doing that, I think I'm going to post it on either my Instagram or my TikTok, and you can check all the links in the description, and make sure you go follow all the wonderful artists that were also a part of this collab. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.